Hello guys, once again welcome to the channel Rahul Automation Studios. So hey guys, in this video I'm going to explain you what are different ways that you can select a value from a drop down. So guys, to select a value from a drop down there are multiple ways that you can select. So I will explain you one by one. So first of all, for that we will be creating one Java class. So just go create a Java class with the name drop down select. Okay guys, so after creating a class I will be creating one main method in that. So you have to write it down like this. So guys, I am writing the main method because I am not writing the test case under the test ng. So in your framework you have to create under the test ng, so you don't need to write a main method, and just simply you can start writing the methods and you can call these methods in your test cases. So let's guys first browse the one website. So this is a simple code that, as you already know, to launch a Chrome browser and to open this particular URL. So guys, I'm using automationpractice.com URL, and guys, you can also do a practice on it. So you can clear your every Selenium concept on it. So let's do it first. So it will load this site. So after that, I will be showing you for the drop down how you can select a value from a drop down and which way is the best way, because there are multiple ways that you can select a value from a drop down. So for that, first of all, we will be going to this dresses. So we will be locating this particular element. So if it is on the t-shirt, we can do on t-shirts as well. Let's one see. Yeah, this is also having red guys. So we will be try to find out this t-shirt web element. We can use as a title. So guys, you have to find out the XPath for it. This is having true, so you can do the indexing of it. Okay guys, so it is locating. So now we have to click on it. Driver dot find element by dot XPath, and you have to write down the XPath here. Simply paste, use a method dot click here, and it will navigate to the t-shirt page. So in the t-shirt space we have one drop down guys. So we have a drop down for the short by. So in this you can see there are multiple values that you have to select. So let's first locate this drop down. So this one is a select, right guys? So this is a select tags guys. So you don't need to write the same way in the Selenium. So Selenium also provide a select tag, but first we have to locate this select drop down. So driver dot find element by dot, let's see if it is having a unique ID. So it is having a ID guys. So we can locate it by the ID. By dot ID, just pass this UID in this. So this is a web element for the drop down. So this is a variable that we have given to our drop down web element. Now guys, what you have to do, you have to create a object of a select class. So select is providing by the Selenium. So you just have to create a object of its select new select. So guys, here in this new select class constructor, it is taking a web element. So in this, you have to pass the web element for your drop down. So the web location that web you are locating the drop down. So this web element you have to pass in it. So just enter this and we have to pass a web element. So we have drop down is a reference for it. So we just pass a drop down as plus semicolon. So you are locating a drop down and after that you are creating a object of a select class, right guys? So after creating a object of this select class, so now you can select a value. So select dot. There are multiple ways, guys, that you can select a value from a drop down. So first we will be seeing by select by visible text. So this is the method and it is taking a string value for you. So which value you want to see. So visible text means to say in the drop down that you can see the visible text, right guys? Suppose you want to sort out with the name product name Z to A, right guys? So you have to give the value this one. This is as a string. You need to pass in a variable in this particular method select by visible text. Okay guys, so let's try to run this and see if it is selecting this particular value in the drop down or not. So first it has to click on this t-shirt and it should load the t-shirt page for you. Yeah guys, so you can see in the sort by it has selected product name Z2A and it has been sorted based on the given value, and we have given product name Z2A and same has been selected in it, right guys? So this is the way, and also we can write one generic method to select. Suppose we also want to select based on some different value, right guys? Like this, but this time we want to select based on some different value, suppose A to Z. So we can give it as A to Z, right guys? So you can select it, but what we can do, we can write one more method that is public static, because this is a static method. So you can write public static select by text. Just give any name, so it will be random name that you are giving. Okay, and in this what you have to do, just copy this line of code, just remove it from here, and in the parameter you can set like web element and the element. Okay guys, so in this you can pass as the element, right guys? And after that, so you are doing select by this and which value you want, so you can pass as a string and the value. So here we will be passing as a value, right guys? So like this also you can do, and it's a generic method, and anytime you want to select some different values you just have to call this method. So we will be calling it, we will be commenting out this line. Okay guys, so to call this method what you have to do, select by text, and we have to pass web element. So we have a web element for the drop down and we have to pass one value. So which value we want, so we want to get it by this. Right guys, so just paste it. Now let's try to run this. So basically it should select that value. Yeah, so guys, it is working fine and our value has been selected based on the visible text. And so this is a generic method that I have given. So in the same way, you can also give like A to Z. This time we want to based on the A to Z, not Z to A. So simply you can call it. So this is a generic method, guys, that I have written, and in the same way you can also write in your framework and you can call it hundred of times in your test cases based on the value you want to select. Just try to run this once, and in the next I will be showing you some other ways that you can select a value from a drop down. This is the one way that you can select a value, that is select by visible text. Next I will be explaining you the select by index. So how you can use select by index method and you can select the value from the drop down. So this time guys, we have given A to Z. So you can see it has selected the value in the drop down based on A to Z. So that's the generic method that I have created. And this time I will be showing you how you can do it by based on the index. So in the similar way, you can write by select by index, right guys? So first I will be just showing you here how you can achieve it. Just comment out this line and remove this line as well. So here we have to use select dot. You can see guys, select dot. Select by index is there. So in the index we have to pass some integer value. So how this index gets calculated? So you can see guys, in this select drop down, value is starting from this double hyphen slash, right? So it will be considered as a zero index. This values will be considered and on zero index. This is on first index, second index, third, fourth. So it will be always start from zero index. Okay guys, so you have to pass as a integer value of an index. Suppose we want to for the second index. So how it will be selecting the value for you? So for the second index, it will start from 0. This is on 0. This is on first and this is on second. So it should be price highest first. So let's see. Let's close all the browsers first so that you don't get confused, guys. So this is the second way that you can select a value from a drop down based on the index. Let's run it. So it is going on the t-shirt base, guys, and let's see. So you can see guys, the value has been selected price highest first, and you can see it has selected the second because it is always start from 0, 0, 1, 2. Right guys, so like this it will always start. It will not start from 1, it's always start from 0. So this is the second method guys that you have to use by select by index. So I will be writing in the same way this method as a generic. So how you can use generic? So select by index you have to use here dot select by index, and you have to pass this value, right guys? So in the similar way, I will be commenting out this line, select by index, and drop down is our web element, and we want to select on for the third this time, for the third index. So one thing I want to explain and I want to tell you about this integer is whatever value is there on the third index, if it has been changed, but still it will select the value for the third only. So guys, I will recommend you should use select by visible text, because whatever the text is visible, and if sequence is getting changed for it, it doesn't matter for him. It will always select that value. If sequence is changed, doesn't matter, but still it will select that particular value from the drop down. But in the case of a select by index, if value has been changed, sequence has been changed for that particular, index has been changed for that particular value in the drop down, in that case it will select a wrong value, right guys? Because now different value is there on that particular index, so it will select different value, so it can be wrong. So but you should always be try to use select by visible text. But let's try to run this. It is selecting value for the third index or not. So this is the second way, select by index, that you can select a value from the drop down. And next I will be explaining you the third way that you can select a value from the drop down. And the third is the select by value. First one is the select by visible text. Second, select by index. Third is select by value. So how you can do the select by value, that I will be showing you. So let's go on t-shirt page, and this time it has selected the value for third. So 0, 1, 2, third. So A to Z is our third index. So it has selected the value for our third index. Right guys? So this is the second way, that is select by index, that you can use. And the third way, so now I'm going to tell is the third way. So our third is select by value. You can see the select by value, and it is taking a string value. So you have to pass in double quote string value. So which value you have to pass in select by value? So for that, just inspect the element, and in the element you will be able to see every option, every drop down value is having one option value as well. So this one, just expand it, and you can see guys, every option, this is a select for our drop down, and these are having different option or different drop down values in that, and everyone is having one value attribute also there, right guys? So this is the value that is talking about which one you want to select. This is a value, this is a particularly, if we see, this is an attribute for this particular option HTML tag. So we are selecting the value based on the value attribute of the options tag, right guys? So this is select by value. So which one we should try? We will be trying this quantity and by the DSC. Okay guys, so let's try it out and see if it is working. And in the similar way, I will be creating one generic method for select by value. So how you can write in the similar way, and you can use in multiple test cases, and you can call hundred of times in your test cases in different test cases. So guys, there are three ways. First is select by visible text, second is select by index, and third is select by value, right guys? So you can see the value has been selected in stock. So if you will inspect this in stock, you will find this option is having the value that we have given in our while selecting in our code. So just inspect it once, and you can see we have given quantity DSC. That's why it has selected in stock. So in the similar way, you can pass any other value. So this time I'm creating the generic method in a similar way. So how you can create and call in multiple test cases if you want to select different value in different test cases. So you have to write select by value. So you have to pass as a string this time, right guys? So string, and here you have to change the method select by value. Rest all will be same. So you are passing the drop down element and you are passing the value options value, right? So just comment out this line, and this is select by value, this is select by text, and this time we are going to use select by value. So in this we will passing some drop down and we have to pass the value, that is option value. So we will be trying some different value this time guys. So this time I will be taking some different value. So this time I will take just simple reference, and let's see if it will select this particular value or not. So right guys, so we are calling this select by value. Let's now try to run this. We'll close all other browsers, not an issue. We can close the browser so that we don't get confused guys in this. So this is the third way, select by value, that we can use to select a value. But the best way to select a value from a drop down is always set by visible text, because wherever it will be there, it will select that value. Because ultimately we have to select the value which is visible in our drop down, and we know that which value we have to select. So we can give that. If the value gets changed for this option value, then it will select the wrong value guys, right? Because value has been changed for that particular option value, but still you are giving the same and expecting the same result, right? Expecting the same value to be get selected in the drop down, but value has changed for that option. So in that case, it will select the wrong value for you. So you can see guys, it has selected reference first, and that we have seen while giving the value, right guys? So these are the three ways that you can select a value from a drop down. And also there is one way, and that you can use to select a value from a drop down. So that also I will be explaining you right now. So I will be explaining you some different methods of a select class. So what you can use, right guys? So select dot. So once you do, we have covered select by value, select by index, select by visible text. These three methods we have covered to select a value from a drop down. And also there are methods guys, which is deselect all, deselect by index, deselect by value, deselect by visible text. Suppose if there is already some selected value and you want to deselect it, right guys? So if you want to deselect also, it can be done, but that rarely happen, because always there will be empty form for you and you have to always select a value in that particular drop down. So it rarely happens you have to deselect a value, but that also you can achieve in the Selenium with the help of deselect method. So in the similar way, there are some other options like get all selected options, right guys? And there is one method, is multiple. So guys, this is multiple is a method that will tell you if you can select multiple value in the drop down or not. So guys, in the earlier, when the legacy site or some other website, some banking websites are there, so in that you can select multiple values in a drop down. So for that, firstly you have to check your drop down is capable to select a multiple value or not. So for that they have given one method, is multiple. So let's try, and it will always return a boolean value for you. So just we will be try to print out system dot out dot println. Okay guys, so we will be just printing, it will give a boolean value if we can select multiple value from a drop down. So in that case it will return true, and if we can't select, in that case it will return as a false. Okay guys, if we can select multiple values. So in the similar way, there is no change to select multiple values. Just you have to write down 2 to 3 separate lines. Right, guys? Just select by value. In the similar way, you will write second line of code. Suppose you want 2 different value. Okay, guys. So suppose this is some another value, right? Like this. So if you want to select 2 values, just you need to write like these 2 lines. That's why I have written the generic method. If you want to call multiple time, if you want to same method, so in that case you can call with the different value. So you can execute 2 line one by one, and it will select multiple value for you, right, guys? So let's comment this line first, and now we will be checking is this drop down is for the multiple or not. Let's run it. So in the similar way, you can do the deselect also. If there are multiple values and you want to deselect, you can use as a deselect all. So in that case, it will deselect all the values from the drop down. So guys, I'm trying to just cover all the methods of a select class. So it will be covering everything in that. Either you are selecting, either you are deselecting, how you can select, how you can deselect. So everything I'm covering in it, guys. So you can see, guys, this is given as a false. So it means this drop down is not capable of selecting multiple values at a single time. So you can't select multiple values in this drop down. Yes. So this is one method, and just comment out. Now we will be trying some other method of a select class. So select dot. So we have covered multiple, select by index, select by value, select by visible text. So deselect is over there that you can do the practice, guys, but this is just deselecting the value, and there is no such method. Only one method is left, that is get options. So get options is a method that is left. I will be covering this get options method also in my video. So we have to use get options, and what it will be returning to us. So you have to just see carefully, guys. Actually, every return type is very important. So if you will see, this get options will return list of web elements to us, right, guys? So we have to store the value in a list. So just take a list, and it is a list of web element, right, guys? And so just mention as a list variable. So yeah, like this. So we are getting all the options and storing in our list. So let's see, guys, what are these options actually. You must be worrying actually what it is talking about the options. So as if you see a drop down, so every drop down have some child value. So these values are basically the child's value, and complete is a parent one is a drop down. So this is our parent, and then this parent, you can see, guys, these options. These options are our child. This is parent, this is child, and the options that it is stopping get options. So all of these options, option. So all of these options it will give you at a single time. So what is the advantage of this method? Get options method, guys. See, if an interview or if you want to use, what is the size of a drop down? Means to say how many values are there in a drop down. So if you want to get the size of a drop down, you can use this get option method, and you can use a size. So in that case, you will get the size of your drop down, right, guys? So this is the one thing. And second thing, if you want to select a value, right, guys, if you want to select a value without using any of the method, that is select by visible text, select by index, select by value. If you don't want to use that method in the interview, they will ask you how you will select a value without using these 3 methods. How you can select a value in a drop down. So you can select that value also from this drop down by using get options method. I will show you that, guys, how you can do and how you can achieve it. So let's do it, guys, one by one. So this is the main thing, get options, and so as this is a list, I am be using a loop. So in the loop, I will pass as a int I, and I will be starting with the index as a 0 because it will list will start from the 0. So after that, I have to put condition I must be less than because we are starting it with 0, so it should be less than, not equal. It should be less than. So from which it should be less than? It should be less than list dot size, guys. List dot size, because list will be returning the size of it. So I will be showing you what is the size first of all. Okay, guys. So that our first question, right? So how we will get the size of a drop down? So system dot out dot println just list dot size. So first let's try to run this and just get the size of a particular list. Okay, guys. So just run it. So this kind of different interview questions, guys, they will ask you in interview because everyone knows that we can select a value from a drop down by the three methods: select by visible text, select by index, select by value. But in the interview, they will check your knowledge. Do you have practical knowledge or not? Do you know another ways or smart ways that you can select a value from a drop down? Right, guys? So you have to be very careful in the interview. Also, guys, this is a select tag, but there will be bootstrap drop down as well. So they will ask you how you will select value from the bootstrap drop downs. So I will be covering those also in my coming videos. So let's do one by one. And you can see, guys, the size is written as 8. So let's count the count. Let's count the values in the drop down and see if it is having the 8 values or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can see, guys, it is giving the correct one. So it is having 8. So you can get the number of values in the drop down. Now our next thing is to select a value from a drop down based on get options, and we are not going to use any of the method. We will be not using any of these methods: select by text, select by index, or value. So let's see how we can achieve it. Just close all the browsers first. So we have closed, and so yeah, guys, we were on this for loop. So we are writing one for loop, and it should be size less than the list. And so just do I plus plus one increment and like this. So we have to make check the conditions of the value, right? So list dot get. So get will give you the web element, right, guys? Because it is a list of a web element, and at particular index it will return a web element to you. So in that particular web element, we will do the get text, right, guys? We will do the get text. So we will store it in a variable, suppose string, and drop down value. Okay, guys. So we can give it as a drop down value. So this is a value. So guys, we have to pass I as well, right? Because on which index we have to use. Now we will be checking if we have to apply if condition here. If drop down value dot ignore the case, we will be checking with equal. If it is equal to, suppose we want to select a value, which value want to select? Suppose we want to select a value for this product name. Ignore the capital or small letter. This is the way. And if check if this value is particular to this, then we are going to select it. Otherwise, we are not going to select it. If this, then what you have to do? So you have to do list dot get I. So you got the web element. On this web element, you are going to click. And after selecting the value in the drop down, we are going to break it. We are going to break the for loop. Right, guys? So in this way, you can see, guys, I'm not using any method, that is select by value, select by index, select by visible text. So this is an interview question, how we can select a value from a drop down without using any of these three methods. So you guys, you can use get options method, and in this get options method, you can make a loop, and based on that, you can click on it. So let's run this test case, guys. Like Java is very important. Some Java concept and collections are very important for a Selenium framework. If you're working on pure automation, pure Java and Selenium coding, I mean, you have to be some basic knowledge of Java. So guys, you can see our value has been selected. So which value we have given? We have given product name A to Z, and product name A to Z, and it has selected the same value in the drop down, and we are not using any of the predefined method, right, guys? Also, I have one method, I mean one way also how you can select the value. Yeah, let me do that as well today. So how you can achieve that? So you must be here, guys. So I will be starting from this. Just do the copy and paste. Okay, guys, I will be just comment out this kind of code. So today, guys, I'm covering everything for uh, for the select values. So what actually I'm talking about is driver dot find element. Okay, guys. So in the find elements by dot XPath, we are going to use a XPath in that. So what basically I am talking about? I am talking about I will take all the options web element, right, guys? So I'm finding all the options tags in under this particular select, right, guys? So we can use find elements method. So let me do this is by ID, control F. I will be writing XPath only, guys. Just stay with me. At the rate IG equal to this. Here it is. This is a select X, sorry, not the anchor tag. So this one is there, and we will be trying with option. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 options, right, guys? So I am locating all the options. So just take it, copy, and find and locate all these web elements for me. And I will be storing this in my list of a web element, right, guys? So I'm locating it, I'm finding the size, and I'm simply making the loop, getting the value, comparing and all. Similar way, guys. Just I have changed the way. In this, I have used get options method, and in this, I have used find elements for this particular tag, right, guys? So let me try out if it works fine, guys. Yeah, let's try to run it. I will be closing it, so don't get confused, but it should work actually. So this is another way that you can answer in the interview. So there are two ways that you can do without using the predefined methods to select a value from a drop down, guys. Yeah, it's working fine, guys. Yeah, you can see in the sort by drop down, it has selected the value product name A to Z. and our test case has executed successfully. Total size and count in the drop down was 8, as we are displaying it, right? So we were displaying it 8 list of size, and it's working fine. So guys, in today's this video, I have covered all the things about the select. So how you can select the value, how you can deselect the value, how you can write the generic method so that you can call in different test cases with a different value, right? And how you can get the drop down size, and how you can select the value without using predefined methods. I have explained get options method. I have explained find elements method to you, right guys? So yeah, thanks. That's it guys from this video, and in my coming video I will be covering more Selenium concepts. So please like, share and subscribe to my channel and share with your colleagues. Thanks to everyone. Thank you. Bye.